All right, so what does it mean when you start sending your kids out into the world and you're a little nervous? More on that in a second. All right, so I'm here with Regina, and I had the pleasure of having Regina's son a couple years ago. She wanted to come back and say hi. I think that was your point today.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You didn't know I was going to turn the camera on you.
I did not know
Okay, so
that.
you're not ready for this.
I am not.
That's all right. And is that what you come to say hi, or like just give me an update on how great your son's doing now?
Well, that, and I wanted to hear more about your startup ed.
All right, cool. Well, you're going to hear it. Well, what a segue. Well, I'm excited about it too. So Regina came in, and like for full transparency, he did just okay in my class, just okay. Because what he lacked was, and we were just talking about this, was I literally just said, hey, we're going to turn on the camera. She's like, no. He lacked a little bit of self-discipline. But the thing is, what made me so happy to hear is that good parenting and a little bit of good schoolwork eventually pays off. Her son, when he left high school, he needed some direction. You tell a little bit of the story of what we were just talking about.
He's a great kid, and he very smart, but he just wasn't finding his niche in school. And we didn't think college was probably going to be the right avenue. He moved out for a year, which was the best thing ever. And he just recently enlisted in the Marines. Yeah. And he has. And tell him
how you learned about that.
And just kind of on the fly, basically. Yeah. He just came home and said, "Oh, I enlisted in the Marines today."
Oh, hey, Mom, I enlisted in the Marines. But what's funny is like that was one of the things that was holding him back. Intelligence-wise, he could have gone to college anywhere. He knew how to do things. It was the follow-through, it was the discipline. And while he had a loving home and people that care about him and teachers that cared, he just knew that he needed a kick. And so it was kind of funny when Regina said this one day, he says, I'm going to go to the Marines. She says, why the Marines? Because they hold me accountable at a really high level. And in a lot of the things we've been doing with StartEdUp and now Future Ready U, some of it is just communicating with parents. And what I think is wonderful is sometimes just a good foundation of family upbringing, like there's hope. Like sometimes not everybody's plan has to be as soon as you're 18 you have to go to college. It's just not. And again, I always have a disclaimer. I think that college is wonderful for a lot of people, but there's a lot of people out there like Andy that's like it's not ready yet.
Well, I think there's a lot of kids too that may be ready in a year or two. I think they need some life experience sometimes.
100%.
And probably moving out was the very best thing that he
even though as a parent that's kind of hard.
Oh, it was hard.
Yeah.
But, it's what he needed to do. He needed to go out on his own and make something of himself.
And what I think is so important for me to hear this as a parent, but also as a teacher, is that number one, I cringe when I hear graduation rates like as soon as we push them out the door, then they're good. Like we never want to contact again. And I know that's not what is there or reality, but sometimes it's implied that like if they leave the building, then we're good. I want to make sure that my students stay in contact with me, which is why I love it when parents want to come by. I really appreciate it. But also because there's hope. A good foundation is sometimes the students may not have it on the world's time, like, as soon as you're 18, you have to do these things. In Regina's case, and there's thousands of parents just like you that like, it depends on everybody else. So one of the reasons why I want to do this is also, yes, the Future Ready U Academy is I want your students to have this kind of mindset going into, we have students now enrolling as early as 8th grade. Because looking out for opportunities, and that's exactly what Andy eventually did, he started looking for opportunities that were a match to his personality.
Coming here was not only to talk about how wonderful my son was. It was also because I, too, went to college for 5 years. Not 4,
hey,
5.
Pretty typical.
Got a degree that really didn't change my life so much. However, I became a mom, stay-at-home mom, loved it. That was a good job. But currently, I'm going back to my entrepreneur spirit. That's another reason why I wanted to come and talk. is I do book publishing. And I design books and work with authors, and I wanted, to start getting into catalogs. So I just kind of wanted to bend Don's ear a little bit about where he sees his curriculum going.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Even as an adult like me, you always have to go out there and just keep searching and making connections.
Yes, no, absolutely. And then hopefully we have that mindset here in the sense that you're right. If you're stagnant, you're dying. And in this changing world now where a guaranteed life job almost doesn't exist, like that's really rare. And so I've got some adults saying, well, it's easy for you to say you're a tenured teacher. Kind of. Actually, tenured's kind of done here, but you're right. If you're not growing, if you're not adding to your skill set, then you are at a disadvantage. And anyway, I appreciate you coming by.
You just never know when opportunities could be around.
Opportunities are everywhere, indeed.
You gotta go knocking.
That sounds strange, just familiar. I'll wrap it up from there. Regina, thank you. I mean, obviously, you're going to stay longer and talk to me, but for the purposes of this podcast, I do appreciate you coming in, and I know that we're like by the day we keep getting more and more emails from parents, and hearing from your voice is exactly what I think a lot of people need. All right, so as she said,
Five.
yeah, Semper Fi, baby, Marines. All right, this is Don Wettrick, and this Regina just told you, opportunities are everywhere. See ya.